What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Camper Report. Again, I'm kind of working on the intro, a new intro for the Camper Report. So I'm not really going to have an intro today, but happy Easter, everyone. Welcome to a new stream. Again, I apologize for probably going live on Easter. Not a ton of you guys will be watching this live, but you guys will watch it after the fact that I've made this show. You guys will watch it afterwards. So I just had to put the content out there. I was trying to go live, I believe, yesterday, but yesterday night I was trying to go live, but I came back a little late from this track meet, and so I never really got a chance to. But let's get right into it. We're going to talk 49ers talk. We're going to talk one draft prospect that I find super intriguing. Once again, I apologize, guys, that I'm so late. I had some things to do before this. But yeah, we're going to talk one prospect that I think is intriguing, that is making a high rise on the everyone's draft boards. And then we're going to talk quite a bit of Niners talk. And then we're going to get out of here because it's obviously Easter. So I don't want to take up too much of your guys' day. But man, I'm excited because the draft is closing up upon us. I'm getting more and more into these prospects. I haven't gotten into every single one, but I'm really getting into the edge rushers that the 49ers could get in the third round. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on the third round for the 49ers. And then I'm also focusing on for the NFL. I'm focusing on the first round. So I'm basically just looking at first round prospects. And then for the 49ers, I'm looking at third round prospects. I'll get into the later rounds for the 49ers because they have tons of fifth round picks, tons of sixth round picks, and tons of seventh round picks. So I'm looking into getting more into the later rounds. But for right now, I'm just doing first round prospects and second or third round prospects as well, because the 49ers could trade up. They could. I also probably next week will probably do a 49ers mock draft. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to a little bit of NFL talk, or most of the NFL talk from now until the draft will be basically NFL prospects. This is a guy, this is kind of, I made a draft crush video about Devin Witherspoon a few weeks ago. And this is kind of another guy that I have had I have taken a huge liking to. Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, right tackle to be more specific, from Tennessee. Really, let's get into it a little bit here because I'm going to quickly pull up my notes here. He's 6'5", 6'7", 333 pounds, has a 5.01 yard time, which is in the 90th percentile. His 10-yard split, which is, I believe, even more important, is 1.81 seconds, which is in the 40th percentile. So not a great 10-yard split. And then he has 33 and 3/4 inch arms, which isn't super long for an offensive right tackle. I can quickly edit this banner here. Because I obviously just wrote Darnell Wright. I want you guys to know what the position I'm talking about right here. Darnell Wright, right tackle from Tennessee here. Okay, here we go. Darnell Wright, right tackle from Tennessee. So anyways, guys, this guy, he played right tackle 3 out of the 4 seasons that he played at Tennessee. And really what I see from him, elite foot quickness. And really, he's not ever going to get beat to the outside if you're an edge rusher, because he's so good at getting in his stance and getting off of his break. It's unmatchable. And again, he has a lot of experience here at the college level. He obviously played over 2,500 college snaps in his career. And this is a crazy stat. Allowed just 5 QB in his senior year, allowed just 5 QB hurries and 2 QB hits. And then 0 sacks. And you've got to keep in mind that Darnell Wright really played against the toughest competition. He was in the SEC. He played against Will Anderson and BJ Ojulari, 2 edge rushers. BJ Ojulari, obviously from the name is escaping me right now. I can't remember where BJ Ojulari came from. I think it was it Missouri? No, I can't remember. But BJ Ojolari and Will Anderson are two top 50 edge rush prospects. Obviously, Will Anderson, we already know, is going to probably go top 5 in this year's draft. Darnell Wright allowed 0 sacks to Will Anderson. And the funny thing is that he did not allow a single pressure to either Will Anderson or BJ Ojolari. Obviously, when they were playing, Tennessee played Alabama, that was the game of the year. Darnell Wright held his own against the top 5 pick in this year's draft, Will Anderson. And then obviously BJ Ojolari, projected around the 2nd round, is also an edge rusher. The name of the school is escaping me right now where he came from. But what I'm trying to say is he didn't allow a single pressure against some of the top prospects in this year's draft. So that's already amazing. And the thing that I like, I mean, he was ranked below, when this whole draft process started, he was ranked below DeJuan Jones, the right tackle from Ohio State. But when I compare them to, DeJuan Jones is a big dude, don't get me wrong. But I think Darnell Wright is better than DeJuan Jones simply because Darnell Wright doesn't overextend. What you'll see a lot with DeJuan Jones is, from right tackle from Ohio State, is he tends to overextend his arms and gets imbalanced sometimes with edge rushers when they're rushing him. This guy gets in a perfect stance, Darnell Wright, and he doesn't overextend. He's patient with his hands, and he lets the edge rusher, come to him. And so, and he really doesn't get imbalanced with his feet. He always has a perfect base and perfect hands. So just a great mechanics, great physicality here. And then obviously I wrote in my notes, I already said elite foot quickness and a mirror ability. Doesn't get off balance very quickly. And again, very good. I mean, this guy is 333 pounds. So because he is that big, he's good at handling the power rushes. So if you're a defensive lineman, you can't put him on his ass. I mean, Mike McGlinchey, he could not handle bull rushes. But this guy is powerful. He has speed, so it's hard to bull rush him or get around this right tackle with finesse, because he has good mechanics and has good strength. The only concern that I have with Darnell Wright, and I'll get off of this topic in a minute. The only concern that I have with Darnell Wright is Tennessee didn't play a zone run scheme, and they didn't really run the ball in general that much. And so you didn't get to see him run blocking and getting those run blocking reps in. And Tennessee never played a zone run scheme. And so really, when he's at the next level, a lot of NFL teams play a zone run scheme. And so it's really hard to evaluate how good he is going to be able to block in space or move in space. Tackles are going to have to do that. The thing that kind of is concerning is, I said before that his 10-yard split was a 1.81. His 10-yard split out of his 40-yard dash was a 1.81. Wasn't it 1.81 second? Like, was 1.81 seconds, which is in the 40th percentile. That's not very good. I think if you're looking at how well he can block in space and how well he can block in a zone run scheme, that kind of is a good indicator. So I don't know if he's going to be a very good fit in those type of schemes, zone run schemes. But pass blocking, I would say, is the second best pass blocker in this draft. The only person I would put above him is the guy, I'm looking here real quick. I have his name here. The only guy I would put above him is Paris Johnson, the left tackle from Ohio State. That's the only pass blocker that I think is better than him. So if you want a really good, hell of a good pass blocker, pick him. Before we leave this topic, let's get to the comments. They're going to trade up to second. Boy, they are going to trade up to second. Boy, the first, though. Yeah, I think he's meaning the 49ers. Yeah, I think the 49ers are going to have to give a lot up to actually trade up into the first. If they can, this would be the guy I would get, Darnell Wright. just great elite foot quickness, great pass blocker, exactly what the 49ers need. I just don't know if Darnell Wright really fits Kyle Shanahan's scheme. I don't know how well. Again, I mean, the 49ers have been moving away from the zone run scheme for a while, so maybe it's really not that much of an issue. But what the 49ers have done in the past, Darnell Wright would not be very good at, which is outside zone runs or blocking in space as a right tackle. Blake Freeland, BYU. Yeah, that's a guy that I probably need to break down as well, because that's I don't know if you guys saw on my Twitter, but man, if Blake Freeland, I mean, the 49ers, I don't know if they're going to trade up for a right tackle, but if he does fall to them at pick number 101 or 102, no, is it? Yeah, we have 101 and 102. If he does fall to us there, oh, absolutely pick him up. But yeah, Blake Freeland, I need to get breakdown video of him as well, because that's an interesting prospect on all of our nines as well. So before we leave this topic and get to more 49ers news, I do want to kind of see what the top landing spots for Darnell Wright will be. Again, this guy was projected as at first in the mid to early second round. Now I've seen a lot of mock drafts, and me myself have mocked him to go mid to late first round. So I think the number one team obviously is the Chargers. If they don't get a running back, the Chargers, they've sit at pick number 21. That's the perfect spot. I think he's going to go around the 15 to 25 range. So the Chargers are right in that range where they could get him. They need a right tackle, obviously. Their offensive line was pretty bad last year, so they need a right tackle there. They have the guy from Northwestern that they drafted a few years ago that is anchoring the left side, but they need a right tackle. And then the Steelers are obviously a very good pick as well. I think they have pick number 17. I think if the Chargers were to go after Darnell Wright, they would probably have to jump the Steelers here, because the Steelers are in bad desperation of a right tackle. They need to fix that whole offensive line. And then the Bills are a team that sitting at pick number 27. I don't know if he's going to make it there, but if he does, that would be a steal. And maybe the Bills trade up 9 or 10 picks to the Steelers pick and pick number 17. And maybe the Bills get him. They also need a lot of help on the right side of their offensive line. That was a pretty bad offensive line last year as well. Then you have the Bengals. That's a team where they got Orlando Brown. They signed Orlando Brown, so their left side is fixed, but they still need a right tackle. And this would kind of be my ideal destination. The problem is they pick number 28. So I think for them to get him, they would probably have to trade up to like pick number 20. So Darnell Wright is a guy moving fast on everybody's draft boards. Keep an eye out for him. Those are my top 4 landing spots: Chargers, Steelers, Bills, and Bengals. All in need badly of a right tackle. But let's get to what all the people want. Some edge rushers that the Niners could get in this year's draft. I'm looking at really 3 players. That's all the players I could really break down last night. I was kind of going through my list of guys, and I was like, who should I mention in today's show? And so these were the 3 guys that I came up with. Keion White, from edge rusher from Georgia Tech, Brian Young, edge rusher from Tennessee, and then we have Brenton Cox Jr., edge rusher from Florida. Let's start with, I guess, Keion White. This guy's a big dude. Could probably play a little bit of defensive tackle as well, so that's something that's intriguing for the 49ers. I think what the 49ers, real quick, guys, drinking some coffee, what the 49ers will be probably looking at is, I think, kind of like a Charles Omenihu kind of role, because they still kind of need like a run stopper, a powerful guy inside, because I know that, I mean, what's his name? The guy, it's not Hassan Ridgeway. The guy, oh my gosh, the guy that we got from the Eagles, the defensive tackle that we got from the Eagles. He is not that good run blocker. He's a good pass, like not a that good like run stopper, but he's a good pass, like a good, like a guy that can bring pressure from the interior. His name is escaping me. We got him for a huge deal from the Eagles. Why in the hell do I not remember who he is? Anyways, so he's a good rusher from the interior, but not a great, let me see in the comments. We have a comment here. Hopefully Hargrave. Javon Hargrave. Why do I like the last two shows I've completely forgot his name. Anyways, so yeah. And by the way, Tommy Huxley, thank you for tuning in. I very much support the diligence by you continuously hopping in my shows. So thank you for that. But anyways, I think the 49ers are looking for guys who can stop the run like Keion White, who are big and powerful and can play both positions. That's kind of what Charles Omenihu did. So edge, a little bit of edge. I think they're looking for edge help as well as kind of a guy who can play both defensive tackle and edge. Keion White fits the bill. This guy had 7.5 sacks last year. He's a big dude, 6'5", 285 pounds, but has a 40 time of 4.79, which is really good for a defensive lineman. And then obviously had 14 tackles for loss and 54 tackles in general. So he had put up some good numbers at Georgia Tech. The thing that I like the most about him is this guy has really good closing speed, and once he gets around that offensive, like a lot of times what he'll do is he starts off and he has really good opening speed off of the jump. Opening speed, he'll bull rush the offensive lineman and is just really good at locating the quarterback and doesn't get off balance. He starts with a low pad level and just bull rushes you and has speed off of the line. So that's he has the combination of size and speed that is really key for a defensive end. Again, the one problem that I do find with Keion White is a lot of times he's not great with his hands. So yeah, he'll get off the ball really fast. He'll bull rush you, and he is just great gut off, and he has the ability of speed and power. But at the NFL level, you're going to meet guys, right tackles or left tackles, that are also have power and can match up, like Darnell Wright. Like Darnell Wright has the power to handle guys with speed and power. And so you're gonna meet or tackles in the league that have the power to match up with your speed and power. And so you're gonna have to have, and this is why Nick Bosa is so good. You're gonna have to have also insanely quick hand movements and insanely quick pass rush moves. And he's just not great with his hands. But again, I look at Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson, some of the top edge rushers in this year's draft. And I look at them and I say, they don't even have elite pass rush moves. There is nobody that compares to Nick Bosa or anybody in this draft that has, like, Nick Bosa. What sets him apart is he has elite hands. He has elite pass rush moves. I don't see anybody in this draft that actually has really refined pass rush moves. Will Anderson, much of his game is about speed and power. So that's not a huge concern with me because not a ton of edge rushers in this draft have elite hands. So Keion White has really good power, really good speed, maybe needs to get a little bit more developed at the next level, maybe with his hands. But yeah. Okay, so let's get to the next guy, Byron Young, edge, real quick. Tommy Huxley with a comment in here. I don't want to miss anybody's comment. He was a good run stopper in Pittsburgh when he was drafted. Yes. Keion White. Yeah, I think wait, are you talking about Keion White? Because, sorry, Hargrave. I think he's still talking about Hargrave. Yeah, it's just that the Eagles never really had that good run defense last year, and I heard that it was apparently, like, from my brothers, Hargrave was a pretty good interior rusher, but he wasn't a great run stopper. So we might need a defensive tackle that can do that, which you can find guys like that in the 6th round. But and a guy that I really like is Green, something Green from Bowling Green, which is interesting. I would have to look up his name. He's a defensive tackle from Bowling Green, which is a college, but obviously I think he's projected around the 6th or 7th round, and he's a really good run stopper there. So I'm gonna have to look him up. I'll get back to you guys on that one. Byron Young, though, that's the next edge rusher that I have from Tennessee. This guy has actually a really interesting story. He started out at JUCO. Well, he tried out for a JUCO team. He was a Dollar General store manager. Okay. This guy is 25 years old now, but he was a Dollar General store manager. He tried out. He saw this JUCO team and tried out, right? And he made it. He made the JUCO team that he tried out for. And then highlights from his year at JUCO went viral on the internet, and he started getting, hold on guys, I'm moving my camera. Okay. He started getting offers from SEC schools. So he ended up landing at Tennessee. So he played, I think it was 1 year at JUCO, but it was interesting because he went from a Dollar General store manager to playing at JUCO and then going viral on the internet and going to Tennessee. So just a great story. Obviously has the work ethic. If he was able to work his ass off and get from a Dollar General store manager to now possibly playing in the NFL, it's just incredible. But he's like a speed rusher. Like, I think the 49ers obviously are hoping that Drake Jackson can kind of become that speed rusher type player that we all hope he can be. But if you wanted another speed rusher, Byron Young is definitely an underrated edge rusher that I think a lot of like the thing that really turns a lot of teams off is he's 25 years old. But I mean, he has a rare ability. He basically has a really good get off, and he does this one pass rush moves where he gets off, he speeds around the outside, and then he punches the offensive lineman with his inside hand and kind of uses the offensive lineman and he like punches the offensive lineman and then gets around with him with the other hand. Gets around the offensive lineman. So like the tackle, he'll put one arm on him and then kind of shove the tackle off and then get to the quarterback around the edge. It's hard to kind of explain how this guy does it and how it's hard to explain pass rush moves, but he's just, he's a speedy guy. His pressure mainly comes from the outside, and he has really good closing speed. And again, if you wanted a speed rusher, this is your guy. The downfall with him is he's 25, obviously, as I said before, and that's basically the only downfall. And maybe power at the next level. I don't know if you met tackles that are more speedy and powerful and speedy, like Trent Williams, for example, just throwing a name out there. I just don't know how well he would do against athletic tackles that can match up with his speed. And obviously he doesn't have much power. So he's really just a speed rusher. But this guy he's a good run blocker. He led PFF, according to PFF, he led edge prospects in run stop it in run. How do you say this? In run. He led them in run stoppery. So basically, he was the best edge rusher stopping the run in this year's class. He ran a 4.43 40-yard dash, which is in the 99th percentile. So he was one of the fastest edge rusher. He led all edge rushers in stopping the run. His 10-yard split was a 1.62, which is also in the 83rd percentile of players. And then he's 250 pounds. He's this guy, what I compare him to is a crazy athletic edge rusher. Doesn't have a ton of power, but he has speed, as I just showed here. And he has, his vertical jump is 38 inches, which is not in the 97th percentile. So just crazy athletic. And then last year, obviously his sophomore year with Tennessee, had 7 sacks and 36 total pressures. So really just a speed guy for me. And he's a guy that we could look into. You could look into Byron Young, edge rusher from Tennessee. Byron Young, edge rusher from Tennessee. But again, he's an older guy, but I have no doubt that, he will probably contribute majorly to a team starting off. So if you want a speed rusher, he's your guy. I think he's about 6'2". So he's not a super huge player. 6'2", around, 6'2", 250 pounds. So not a huge edge rusher, but definitely if you wanted the job done with speed, he's your guy. Moving on to my last guy, Brenton Cox Jr., edge rusher out of Florida. Mainly the guys that I'm going to be highlighting today are basically just edge rushers. I'll get into defensive tackles earlier, but Brenton Cox Jr. Has great get off. His speed off of the ball is just Really good. That's a lot of times how he beats right tackles. This guy almost is like, he's like a linebacker slash, he's like an outside linebacker slash edge rusher. So kind of like a Khalil Mack type of guy. When he gets off, he keeps his pads low. And a lot of times, guys that aren't good pass rushers, they tend to get off and they raise their pads right away to full length, and they lose their speed. But this guy starts off, he has really good get off because he starts off and he keeps his pad level low. And so it generates power and it generates speed. And really, really the strength that he has is just powering into you. So he gets off and powers into you. Obviously against Kentucky, there was a play, which is interesting. They played Kentucky, Florida played Kentucky earlier this year or last year, early in the college football season. And he gets off of the line and he was going against Kentucky's right tackle. And he literally just like, there was this 6'7", this right tackle from Kentucky is 6'7", and he throws the Kentucky right tackle right into Will Levis, the quarterback, and throws him on his ass, Brenton Cox Jr. So he has that kind of get off mixed with a combination of power and really good get off and speed, to where if you're an offensive lineman, you're a right tackle, and you do not set your feet, you're going to get thrown on your ass immediately off of the snap because he has power. Obviously his 40 time was 4.82, so that's not great. But again, his 40 time wasn't great, but he plays faster than a 4.82. And he's also really violent. He has the tenacious spirit that you need as an edge rusher. That's what I saw on film. And then obviously sometimes he does get bullied. Obviously he has really good speed and really good power off of the ball, but if you can get past that, he doesn't have great power in him. So, and then against the run, I'm not really sure how good he could do because he's not a super big player, and he's mainly more of like a speed edge rusher. And so I saw a lot of times when they were running the ball to his side, he just didn't really have the power and build to handle. If you're throwing let's say you're doing an outside zone run, and you're throwing the whole offensive line at his side, I don't really know if he's a defensive lineman who could anchor that whole side of the defensive line. So he just doesn't have like the power to handle runs to his side. So again, he's more of a third down. He's kind of like a D4 to me. He's like a third down specialist, a guy who can get off the ball, and on passing down, he's going to be great. But running downs, I could see him getting bullied a little bit. CG doesn't like obviously we have CG Ruthless Sports in the house. I might have you on to talk. Maybe I'll have you on to get the 49ers mock draft going. I want to do a 49ers mock draft soon, so maybe I'll have you on for that. CG Ruthless Sports says, yo. And then Tommy Huxley says, CG doesn't like the Hargrave pick. He likes a weak D line. He likes a weak D line, the Raiders. What do you mean by that? Check out Jose Ramirez from Eastern Michigan. Very good pass rusher. Okay, I'll do that. Again, before I end this discussion, before I end this topic, the three guys that I was talking about is Keion White, edge rusher from Georgia Tech, Byron Young, edge rusher from Tennessee, and Brenton Cox Jr., edge rusher from Florida. I'll put those all in the show notes or the chapters after the show ends in the description, obviously. I like the Hargrave pick. I like Hargrave pickup. And then he says, you think Mark Davis is in the closet. Okay, what the hell? Tommy, Mark Davis is a clown, buddy. Yeah, have you seen his haircut? The bowl cut? It's hilarious. It's become a meme for years now. Damn Hurts about what? Damn Hurts. Oh, sorry. Damn Hurts. Jalen Hurts about to get $200 million contract. It's crazy, man. Again, I don't think he's really worth that. He's a good quarterback, but that type of money is reserved for one quarterback and one quarterback only, and maybe two: Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Again, Joe Burrow has been playing behind a shitty offensive line for now the past like 2 or 3 years, and he's almost made it to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. So, no, sorry, 2 years in a row. He just seems light. Tommy was, yeah, I could tell. Anyways, let's get to the next topic. This is kind of my ending segment. This is my ending topic. Positions I wouldn't hate the 49ers to go after in the third round. Again, this is kind of a topic that put your guys' positions that you would hate to go after, you would hate the 49ers to go after in the third round. Put them in the comments because I'm interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on this topic. I think the running back position we all can agree on is not going to be something that we go after this year. And if we do, it'll be a travesty. Again, I wouldn't normally say tight ends, but I love so many tight ends in this draft that I would actually not like. I want the 49ers to get a tight end in the third round. I wouldn't even be against the 49ers going up and trading up and getting a tight end because you've got guys like the guy Josh Wiley from Tennessee. Big dude, physical guy over the middle. That's a guy that I would love them to get. You've got Luke Musgrave, who doesn't have a ton of experience. He only played 2 games last year because he got injured. Luke Musgrave from Oregon State, but he's a guy that you could go and get. I don't really like Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan, the tight end, because he doesn't really fit what the 49ers want to do. He's not really a physical tight end, and he's not great over the middle. He's more of like a finesse tight end. So he's not, I don't know. And then obviously we all have heard Sam Laporta from Iowa. He looks good as well. Physical. Every time he gets the ball, he just wants to score. He wants to run over you. So I wouldn't be against the 49ers going up and getting a tight end or getting a tight end in the third round. Obviously we all know edge rusher the 49ers need, so I wouldn't be against that position either. CJ Ruthless Sports says no running backs in the third round. Yes, absolutely. Thanks guys for coming in on this Sunday morning. Hopefully you guys are having a good Easter. Kicker. Yes, we should definitely get a kicker in the third round. Yes. If it's Sam Laporta, I would want to trade up. Yeah. Or I don't know what you're meaning, but like I'm assuming you say I would want to trade up or get some tight end in the third round. I can look up real quick. I don't have the list in front of me, but I can look up tight ends right now. And there are, you've got Michael Mayer, obviously that's out of our range. You've got Darnell Washington, which maybe he could drop to the second round. There are concerns about Darnell Washington. He doesn't have the greatest route running abilities. He's a big dude, so he could get injured a lot. Darnell Washington from Georgia, but let's just assume he's out of the 49ers realm. Dalton Kincaid, obviously out of the 49ers realm, but you've got guys like the 49ers could get like Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta, Brenton Strange is another one that's kind of interesting from Penn State. Josh Wiley, obviously I already said that one, but Zach Kuntz is a guy that you could probably get in the later rounds, so I would not be against at all. This is apparently, and I look at all of these guys and I look at their film and it's like, this is a generational draft, so why not get one in the third round? If it's 99 or 100 or 101, I draft Sam Laporta in a heartbeat. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it there though. Tommy Huxley didn't want to say the obvious answer like Chrissy boy. Yeah. Sam Laporta. Yeah, that's the guy that every Niners guy that Niners content creator that I've watched. Sam Laporta is the guy that every Niners content creator has mentioned. We can get a tight end in the 5th round. Braden Willis, we can get in the 5th round. Yeah. I agree with that. I don't know. I just think that there's some guys that you could get in the 3rd round that could become Hall of Famers almost. Like that's how much I think of this tight end room. But another position obviously is edge rusher. I laid it out already. I wouldn't be against right tackle either. I think receiver, like I know that we have pretty good depth at receiver, but I wouldn't be against getting a receiver either. in the third round. I really wouldn't. I'm looking up a guy. Well, there's a guy here in the receiver. Let me look at my notes real quick. I have this guy on my phone. Rashee Rice. That's a guy that I think the 49ers should get in the third round. He'll probably, I would assume he would drop to the third round. He's right now projected to go Rashee Rice out of SMU. He's right now projected to go in the third. So he's another guy. I mean, he fits exactly what the 49ers want. He's a run after the catch guy. He's really good over the middle. And especially if the 49ers are going after, or the 49ers are making Brock Purdy their starter, Brock Purdy needs guys over the middle. Obviously, I think he's 6'1". He's 6'1", 204. Has 32 and 3/4 inch arms, which is pretty good as well. His 40 time was 4.51, so a little bit slower of a 40 time, but good over the middle. And so I wouldn't be against the 49ers getting a receiver either in the third round to kind of build depth. I think Rashee Rice, I mean, he averaged 14 yards per catch, and he's a very good guy over the middle, good after the catch, so kind of fits what the Niners want to do. Good stream. Keep up the good work. See you on the next one. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to get off of here. So, yeah, right tackle, tight end, edge rusher, safety I wouldn't be against. And then, obviously, I need to look more into the safeties because I haven't really done my due diligence on any safeties yet. So I'll look more into them. But really, the positions that I don't think we should draft is absolutely not running back. Absolutely. I mean, maybe interior offensive line, I could see us draft, but probably not that either. Linebacker, no. But I mean, I'm looking at guys, tight end, receiver, defensive end, and safety are the guys that we should get third round. And if a good cornerback like the guy out of Michigan falls to us in the third round, then yeah, we should maybe look at another corner that can maybe play nickel as well. So, but even corner, I don't really want to see us draft. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here because this has been quite a long stream. So I will get out of your guys' hair. This has been a nice 40-minute stream. This is kind of one of the shorter streams that I've done in a while, but yeah, I like talking Niners with you guys because it's just interesting. I mean, this draft season, it's almost like a whole nother job looking into all these draft prospects because during the college football season, I really only watch Michigan, which is my favorite college football team, and that's it. And so now I have to look at all these prospects and look at film that I've never looked at before. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one. I'll probably be back maybe this Tuesday or Wednesday to talk a little bit more NFL. So we'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day. And thank you for I did not expect a ton of people to show up today because it is Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. But we had a pretty good audience turnout. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I'll be posting some clips later on and chapters in the description. So you guys can flip to where you want to in this video. See you guys later. Have a good rest of your day and happy Easter.